Previously.
Do we at least get a display this time? That would be nice. I don't think it's going to, though. Everything's in the right way around. No. There's test. No. C64 analyzer cartridge V2. PLA. Still going to say bad.
And now.
Okay, so looking at the schematic, IO1, which is what is being shown as an error code on this diagnostic, is to do with U15. The IO line comes out of the PLA and into U15 here. I've been through this before with this chip. There's a lot of in and out and going on here, and it's to do with the CIAs being selected and whether the SID, the VIC, or the color, or the everything. It's basically the chip select lines for the rest of the chips, not the ROMs. And it's a MOS chip, and it's looking a bit tatty along there. So I'm going to scope this and see if I can find anything dodgy. If I can find something dodgy, that would be good. All right, so pin 1 should be pulsing, and it's not. Pin 2 looks normal. Pin 3 looks normal-ish. Yeah, that's not too bad. Pin 4 should be high. Pin 5 should be high. 6, there should be pulsing on there as well, and it should be mostly high. Pin 7, no pulsing there. Pin 8 is ground probably. Pin 9, that's fine. Pin 10, that's fine. 11, that should be high and it's low. Pin 12 should be pulsing. There's basically nothing happening with this. Yeah, that's high and it should be, well, you can see what it should look like. And that should look like that. Yeah, many things are wrong with this, but where is it coming from? All right, let's pop the chip out and see what happens. Wake up, you. I want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video, PCB Way. If you watch this channel, you know I love using UV resin for fixing broken standoffs or replacing snapped case clips. It's a fantastic technique for localized damage, but what happens when a device is completely shattered or a proprietary battery cover has been missing since 1995 and your name isn't Polymat? Sometimes there's just nothing left to patch. This is exactly when I turn to PCB Way. They're famous for their circuit boards, but their mechanical services are what really get a restoration across the finish line. If a missing or broken part is completely unobtainium, you can upload a 3D model and have them manufacture a high-quality replacement. They offer a huge range of industrial options from SLA resin to SLS nylon. It's perfect for when you need a specific factory finish, high durability, or advanced materials that you might not be set up to print yourself at home. They even offer CNC machining if you need to recreate a custom metal bracket or a heatsink. Don't let a shattered case or a missing bezel stop you from finishing a repair. Check out the link in the description to get an instant quote on your custom replacement parts. Big thanks to PCB Way for supporting the channel. Cheers! Is that one of the hot ones? Oh. That one was hot. U14 is hot. U15 is stony cold, as is the CIAs are also very cold. We've got one more very cold RAM chip here of the same brand as the other faulty ones. But I'm going to leave that for now and concentrate on, but let's keep following the path where it takes us. We're still not in the realm of too broken to fix. Not fixed it enough to break it yet. Alright, 74 LS139. Quick way to test this one is with this nasty old thing. Not a definitive test, but yeah, it'll at least tell me if that is a functioning chip. And that is not a functioning chip. 74 LS139. 74 LS139. Lovely. This is right in where the corrosion is as well. Okay, so I've pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chips out of this, and 5 of them have been faulty so far. That's a bit concerning. Every chip I pull out, I'm making sure I clean underneath it nice and very thoroughly, just to make sure that if there is any kind of corrosion that's hanging around, it's cleaned off underneath the sockets. So this is a good score for the C64 analyzer cartridge, because that's what led me directly to this fault, showing me that the I/O line was faulty, led me directly to that U15, which controls the I/O. It's nice when Diagnostics actually tells you what's gone wrong, not just where it's gone wrong. Do we get any further? Right, still a black screen. Des test. What do you think? Yes! Woohoo! We have progress. Bit 1. Okay, thank you, Des test. What about the C64 analyzer cartridge? And what about, actually, let's go straight for normal diagnostics. Yay! Okay, so that's progress. It's not good progress, but it's something. And what does dead test make of it? Seven flashes. I haven't got my chart. Yes, I have. 7 flashes is U9. The next one. That's the one that was really cold. There was nothing happening with that at all. Is that the same as what Des Tester was saying? And what does this say? I am enjoying this one. I was despairing a little bit at the beginning, because it looks like a mountain to climb and that I was never going to get there. So PLA is still going to say, oh, the PLA is okay now. So we're going on to the RAM test now. And that is saying U10. Interesting. U10 is one of the ones we've changed. And what did Des test say? Just said bit 2. Data bit 2. That's saying U22. That's saying this one is bad. All right, so I think the next thing for me to do is have a little scope about, find out which one is more likely to be broken. It still could be ROMs and things. I did contact Matthias, or Matthias actually emailed me after he saw the video that I did about this. And he said that he's taken on board some of the feedback and he's going to look into implementing carrying on the tests after it finds a fault. So to do the full range of tests. So I want to know if the ROMs are okay, for instance. That would be handy to know at this point, because they could be influencing things. Okay, right. Okay, so I think because U9 was the one that was cold, I'm going to take that one out first. U22 is the one that is data bit 2. That's the one that Des Test is saying is bad. So I suspect that that is bad as well. But this one came up on the flash code and is cold. I think that's the way it was. I forget, but they're both coming out. It's just depending. I'm just doing it in this order. Right, first one. This is U9. Bad. Let's make sure that's making good contact. The legs are all straight and clean. They tend to come out clean when they've been soldered. Yeah, that's just bad. That's saying no device or DQ stuck, which makes sense because this was stone cold. I think this had failed in such a way where the chip was just completely inactive. So another chip in the block. I will put a socket in and we'll test it before I take out the other one. All right, straight with Des test. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, the CIAs are playing up. The time of day clocks on the CIAs were marked in red. But we're further along. Let's see what it does now when we try to start it. Oh, we do get something. Yeah, no. So U1 is definitely bad because there's no flashing cursor. We might have one functional CIA. Oh, that is a shame. That is an absolute crying shame because that really does mean that this is probably not going to be one that is rescued. I've got plenty of cases. And one thing I'm sure of is CIAs. Let's see what this... Oh. Okay. So that's actually coming up saying that the memory is still bad. So we still need to sort something else out at that end of it. I'm not stopping until we have a fully working machine. But let's make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, RAM test on this one should be a bit quicker. RAM okay. Oh, that is interesting. Kernel okay, basic okay. Oh, character ROM is bad. This one's bad. That is interesting. Okay, that's our next target then. Let's take the character ROM out and stick another one of those in. How many chips are we going to end up putting in this? What are we up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one was okay. Six broken chips so far, and probably a CIA as well. So it's going to be most likely 8 chips. It's not a record, but it's not good. Oh, that's just falling out. Perfect clean pull. Right, so... Okay, test machine. Make sure it's working first. I've put the CPU and the PLA back in. Is it working? Yes, it is. Right. Bad chip in the good machine. Best way to test. Black. Oh, that's working. Okay, the ROM is okay. That's actually a good thing. So this could be a break. That's interesting, actually. This is the first one where I can kind of believe that there might be a broken trace. Everything else wasn't behaving, consistently, like something wasn't connected. All right, I'm going to have a look at this and see if I can find anything. Okay, I can't find any breaks. Everything seems to be connected. So let's stuff a socket in there and see what happens when I put the chip back in. And we keep poking around. It did come up with some other faults, so there are more things to try. Many more things to try with this board, I think. This one's going to keep giving. I was disheartened at the start of this, but the challenge has grown as the more chips that I take out that are faulty. The way you really get disheartened is when you take a chip out and it's not faulty. That's feels like a failure. No CIA1 is bad. I should probably just take that out. Face the fact that it's not going to miraculously spring back to life just because I want it to. That's probably the first thing I should do, because that could be messing up all sorts of things. CIA1 needs to come out. I've got a feeling both CIAs are going to be bad, looking at the state of the legs. Oh, wow. I've switched to the Hacko and it seems to be much better suited to these. That is really a very nice pull. Okay, I'm just going to stick a socket straight in there and stick a good chip in. I am very confident that this is a bad chip. I don't know if this is going to be any further along because of this, but at least it won't be something that I have to question from this point. So we should get a flashing cursor now. Well, how did that get worse when I put a better chip in it? Now it's... What is going on? Then what is going on? Do we get anything on diagnostics? Remember, this was running. Oh, it is running. That wouldn't run the RAM though, so which probably it sounds like a multiplexer problem to me. It's not even doing the 0 page now. Oh. Help me, Matt Desmond, you're my only hope. Oh, what we got here? 4K. No, I did not hit. Time of day clocks are still wrong. Unexpected NMI. So some select logic is probably still in play here. I reckon this is going to be a case of taking all of these chips out. Does it make any difference if I just take this one out? We go without it. They're not needed for these tests. Interesting, it's got further. Okay, but still a random NMI. So I know that the 7406 down here has something to do with the NMI, so that could be in play. And I'm pretty sure that that is tied in with the CIA or one of the CIAs in some capacity. So shall we have a look at that? Yeah, so that 4066 has a lot to do with the NMI. Or see, U2, oh no, U2 has something to do with the NMI. So that could be firing off a random NMI signal. Where is it? Which pin is that? 21 IRQ. Yeah, so pin 21 Should look like that, and does look like that, but oh yeah, look, there's a random spike then. Yeah, look at those little spikes happening there. That's not right. Oh yeah, look, and the DES test just fell over on the NMI. Okay, so 2 CIAs. This is now, without doubt, a scrap board. There is actually very little of value left. Possibly the ROMs. I will have to take the RAM chips back out and the logic chip back out. So we've got the R3 VIC2 that's in here, but that does run quite hot. So I'm not sold on that being, you know, a long-term solution for anything. Other than that, there's not really a lot in here. A very poor motherboard with lots of corroded looking traces. Nobody really is going to want this one. But let's get it working. Let's make it work first. Despite what it thinks it wants to do, we're going to force it to work. Or at least pass some diagnostics. Another super clean pull. All right, that should stop firing the NMI now. And I should be able to run DES test to see what else is broken on this. Oh, that might actually be normal. Maybe, I'm not sure. Awesome. 3. That's still saying bit 2. Wasn't that U22? Bit 2? Yes, U22. Okay, so that still could be bad. Let's try a different diagnostic. See if we can get something to run. Dead test wants to run. Nope. 1, 2, 3. 3 flashes is U11. We've already taken that out, dead test. You wrong. We might need a CIA in here, at least one in U2. And I don't think that this will actually tell us anything new. I think it will just fail on the CIAs. No, that's saying RAM, U10, which we've also already changed. I'm liking the U22 that DES test is suggesting. So whilst the soldering iron is hot, it's going to pop that out. Okay, U22 in the chip tester is passing. So we're looking at a multiplexer problem then. I really hope it's not a trace problem, because I don't want to chase down a trace or multiple traces. So I'm definitely putting this in a socket so that I can take it straight back out when I've finished fixing this board. It's going to cost me a fortune in sockets, this one. Well, it's not a fortune, they're pennies. Right, should be a better functioning system now. I think it's U1 you don't need, and U2 you kind of do in certain situations. It's complicated. Okay, that's better looking. Oh, it's happier running the diagnostics now. That is interesting. Or the RAM has passed. That other CIA was screwing up the RAM. Right, it's going to let it run through des test switch all the way. This will take a while. I will skip forward and see you at the end. I'm going to go and look for another CIA. Okay, so the RAM is good, and it's actually showing the checksums for the ROMs are all good. So I know the other ROMs are good. So all of the logic's good. Yeah, I'm fairly happy that we're close to the end now. I'll summarize this in a sec. Let me just tidy up. Okay, so the only place that I could salvage a spare CIA from was from my test board, the one that was soldered to the board. So I've had to desolder that and use it for this. So this is both of my CIAs out of my computer. So that's, you know, if you wanted to replace these with like the FPGA based one, I can't remember what it's called, PCIA or something, they're about 40-50 pounds each or something like that. You can buy a C64 for, well, less than that, you would hope, and you would hope that you would buy enough of them to get some CIAs. But you know, they are definitely going to be something that we need in future times. Right, so what do we get when I just turn this on now? Please work. That looks promising. I expect I should put a SID in here and then connect up the test harness and see if this is actually working. Okay, final test, I hope. I've already tested the RAM, so I don't need to do that. Oh, there's no SID in here. Hang on. Original 6581 with 2 ticks on it. Yes. Hey. Right, that works. Let's get all of this off. I've already put quite a bit of work into this one. I've fixed all of the case clips on this. I say quite a bit of work. That's really easy to do now. But it'd be nice to see if this keyboard is actually working. The LED is working. Even the space bar works. Perfect. So we've got this beautiful wood grain effect. This beautiful walnut panel, teak panel, that is completely and 100% genuine. I think what's happened here, it looks to me like there is some damage actually underneath. No, there's no damage. It's just a really poor bit of workmanship. Okay, so this isn't going to be, well, it might still go up for sale in some form. So maybe Paul will sell the case on its own because we'll use the inside bits. Or maybe I'll salvage all the chips off of it and we'll put the board in. I don't know. It's up to Paul what he does with this one. But it's now fixed. So I'm going to put a label inside here so that I know for the future that what this one is. And it's not a board that I want to turn into a test board, for instance, because I wouldn't trust these traces. So I need to take all my chips out, salvage what I can, and put this one to bed. Not the ideal not the ideal ending, but you know, what we came here to do is to make this machine work, and we did it. So, well, I did it. Well, actually, no, we did it. So I've got lots of people to thank. There's people like Sven Peterson that makes the amazing cartridge board that I use and the test harness. Who else? Factor of Matt Desmond, who makes the brilliant Des Test switch, and Matthias, who made this brilliant C64 analyzer cartridge. Phil, who made this brilliant retro DRAM tester, which you'll be seeing a video about soon. Dennis, who made the brilliant Commodore repair toolbox, which is growing in front of our eyes into something incredible. That's another brilliant thing. All of the people that work behind the scenes, BWAC, who does things like the schematics and loads, and there are so many people that make this possible for somebody like me to do. I couldn't figure this stuff out by myself. I don't have any electronics education. I don't have any qualifications in this. I am just purely a hobbyist. And for people like us that do this thing for fun, we could not do this without the help of all of the above and more. There's so many more that I've probably forgotten. So thank you, all of you. You are just constantly valued and appreciated, or you should be. And one other thing to note, this is not the only wood finished C64 in my workshop. I have another one. I can't show you it right now because it's packed in its box next to me, very, very safely and securely. And at some point in the near future, I'm going to get it out, put it on the workbench, put it all back together, as much as it needs putting back together, to show it off. And then we're going to raffle it so that somebody can win probably the most special C64 in the world. I can't say much more than that. I don't want to spoil it, but it's wood-based in many ways. It's wood-themed in many ways, I should say. People close to the channel might know what I'm talking about, and it is really exciting. So we're going to try and raise a big heap of money by raffling, selling raffle tickets to win this very, very special, not this very special, this isn't a very, very special C64, a different, very, very special C64. So that's coming soon. Keep an eye out for that. All right, I hope you enjoyed that one, and I did. I really enjoyed that. It was a journey, and I really like these ones which end up being a fight. And now that I've got even more tools in my arsenal with Matthias's cartridge, analyzer cartridge, and Dennis's brilliant CRT schematics all in one place, and where all the traces are, I'm now equipped to much better. I would have been floundering for quite long periods of time making this repair without all those new tools. So thank you, brilliant. Anyway, yeah, bye. Slickly. Before I go, I just wanted to show this RAM chip is the one that I took out that was actually okay, and I've had this on a loop testing on the most extreme tests, and it's done 143 loops, so I can probably stop that now. That's okay. The chips that I did find faulty, so we've got 2 CIAs, a CPU, the PLA, and 4 RAM chips, and I've misplaced it. There was also U15, that 139, but I can't see that at the moment. It seems to have disappeared off of my workbench. It's not in the tester. It's very easy for things just to go missing on here. Oh well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chips that were bad on this board. The only other one that I took out that wasn't faulty is the character ROM. And I've put that in this pile over here of good chips that I've salvaged out. I'm going to take the VIC-2 out and these 3 logic chips as well, and then put this board into the spares pile, where it's probably just going to end up donating its sockets and things. Everything else is, you know, there are a couple of memory chips on here, but I did find that all of the chips that I took out, every single one of them had really bad hook legs, and all of the sockets that I've put in here are now rubbish because the chips that I put in have ruined them as they've come back out. So there's no point in even taking the sockets out, and it's a lot of work just for a socket. So that's the fate of this one. The case will probably find a use at some point somewhere, but I've got loads of cases now. There's 5 cases up there plus this one, so I've got 6 cases with no C64s to go inside them. So we're doing all right for cases. Maybe Paul will sell some cases soon. Okay, carry on about your day. That was it.